Oh man, guys. I am fresh out of the theater after seeing Captain America Civil War for the very first time. And as you can probably tell by my props, I enjoyed it a whole lot. And just in case you're wondering, this comic right here is from the new Civil War 2, which is the running series that will start next June. And this is a preview issue that was released during Free Comic Book Day. I have not started reading it yet, but I'm assuming it will be great. So, yeah, there's that. But on to the reason why you're watching this video, Captain America Civil War. Now, this is going to be my Spoilery review, meaning there will be some spoilers for the movie. So, if you're not into that, or if you haven't seen the movie yet and want to keep an open mind, then you should check out my non-spoiler review, which should be up either by the time this is up or sometime after that. I'm not really sure, sorry. But anyways, on to the movie. I think it is the best Marvel movie thus far. Now, that does not mean it's my favorite. My favorite movie is actually Guardians of the Galaxy, but that is just because I'm more of a humor guy, and this movie, well, it did have lots of humor, mainly coming from Spider-Man and Ant-Man, who are my two favorite characters in the film. Mainly because of that, this movie had a more serious tone, and it should be. You know, a Civil War. It's Captain America fighting Iron Man. And there's a few times in the movie when you definitely think someone that will die. Obviously, there's Rhodey, who we see in the trailer getting shot by actually Vision, although it was an accident. And then there's one point close to the end when I thought Black Panther was going to have to intervene, and Captain America is smashing on Iron Man, and he sticks the shield in his chest, in the reactor thing. And I thought he was going to kill him. I thought he was dead, but he was not. So that was good. And it's a very good movie. The only thing that's bad about it is that the action, it's very action to action to action. Most of the scenes, it's a very fast paced movie. Now, it's not as bad as Batman v Superman as far as the pacing goes, because there are little scenes like the one where Iron Man goes to recruit Peter Parker, and he's just sitting in the apartment talking to Aunt May, eating the walnut bread or whatever he was eating. That's one of the scenes where there's not a lot of action. Now, one scene where there is a lot of action is the airport battle scene, and that scene is probably a good 10-15 minutes of the film, maybe even more. That is the best scene from a superhero movie I've ever seen. And the most interesting thing about that scene is that Scarlet Witch fights pretty much everyone on Iron Man's team once. And the most fun part about that is when Ant-Man goes into Giant Man, and that's amazing. He grows Giant Man, and he grabs War Machine out of the air, and then Spider-Man, they pull an Empire Strikes Back on Hoth, and Spider-Man wraps around his legs, and both Iron Man and War Machine punch him in the face, and he's dead. And so Ant-Man's great, Spider-Man's great, really everyone's great, but the humor between them two is just wonderful. Okay, what else is there? Okay, the raft. Now, in the early trailers, we see this prison coming out of the ocean, and as soon as I saw that, I was like, that's the raft. Other people thought maybe it could be Prison 42, because Prison 42 was the Civil War of the comics, but it takes that Prison 42 is in the negative zone, and Marvel Studios does not have the rights to that, so it makes more sense for this to be the raft. Now, the raft in the comics is basically a supermax prison for all of the baddest villains, and if a hero turns rogue. And actually, in the movie, most of Team Cap gets sent there, except for Bucky and Cap himself. The rest of the team gets sent there, and then I'm assuming Captain America breaks them out at the end, because you see him and Sam smiling at each other. So I'm assuming they're all out of there, and that will be interesting for the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because essentially half of the Avengers are wanted criminals, and they're acting outside of the law. Now, they will still probably protect and serve. It also makes for an interesting dynamic in the Ant-Man and the Wasp movie. As far as I know, or as far as they've announced, Ant-Man is the only member of the people who were sent to the raft who has a solo movie coming up. So I'm sure that will be addressed. And Scott is already a convicted felon that came out and is not convicted anymore, but now he's back. He's back to that. So there's the raft. And that was the biggest comic Easter egg, or nod, I think. And they'll probably continue to do that. Instead of killing their villains like they did in the past, they'll probably put their villains in there. And that's one thing I thought was weird. After Zemo is captured, Zemo is sent not to the raft, but to the prison where Bucky was saw at the beginning of the movie. And I didn't understand that. That's the point of the raft, is to hold individuals. Well, no, he doesn't have superpowers or any special abilities. It would make sense for him to go there. Along with Spider-Man and Zemo, who were new additions to the film, to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, there was Black Panther. And Black Panther, I didn't really understand where he's coming from. Like, I know he thought Bucky killed his dad, and that's mainly the reason he's in the movie. But I didn't understand how he got his powers, because in the comics, he eats this herb, a heart-shaped herb that gives him enhanced abilities. But then you see him in the movie, he puts on a ring after his dad dies. So I don't know if that ring has something to do with his powers. It looked like he had a certain inscription on it. So maybe the suit comes out of that ring. That's more of a Flash thing than a Black Panther thing. The Flash is not in this universe. And I think that's about it. The movie is very good. It's excellent. If you have not seen it yet, you need to go see it. It's amazing. And like I said at the beginning of this video, it is the best MCU film so far. And it probably will be for a while, until Avengers Infinity War. I don't think there were any nods to any of the other characters or any of the future movies. But something we still have to talk about is the end credit scenes. Now, the last end credit scene had to do with Spider-Man, and he's got this wrist thing, which I'm assuming is his new web shooter, and he like puts it on the roof, and it's like a hologram, and it's his logo, and they show you that, and they say Spider-Man will return. I don't think there's any Easter eggs in that, but there could have been. So you might want to search You might want to search the YouTube to find other videos that could explain that better. Now, the first end credit scene I can't explain to you. First end credit scene was Cap and Bucky, and Bucky's going back into cryogenesis, which means he's going to be frozen, because he believes that's what's best for everyone and that will keep everyone safe. And then after that, after he goes back into cryostasis, cryogenesis, whatever you want to call it, you see Cap talking to Black Panther or T'Challa or the King of Wakanda. And then Cap's like, if they find out he's here, you'll be in big trouble. And he's like, I'm okay with that, or whatever he says. And then it pans out and you see a giant statue of a panther. So if you didn't understand that, they are in the nation of Wakanda, which T'Challa is now the king of. And now there was big Black Panther movie news yesterday. Michael B. Jordan is cast, and he's most likely playing a villain. I have some theories as to who he should be playing, and that should be out either Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm going to be making a video for that. And also, Lupita Nyong'o, I think that's how you pronounce it. If not, I'm very sorry. She's also rumored to be in the film, and I actually had a fan cast yesterday on my Tumblr on who she should play. And I think Lupita would be a perfect casting for Shuri, who is Black Panther's sister in the comics. And Shuri also takes up the mantle of Black Panther eventually. So I don't know if they'll do that in the movie, but I think it'd be a very good thing. Have you seen Captain America Civil War yet? If you have, which you probably should have if you're watching this video, let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for all future videos, including theories, reviews, and all things Marvel. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter and Tumblr. Goodbye!